The main character have two stepsisters, and he was very close to them, because he was an advocate of the Alabama culture. Then this blonde girl always forgives the main character when he turns to a man of culture. Many years later, and all of them were now adults. Then it was only the three of them living in this house, because the step-parents were on a 1-year abroad trip. The blonde stepsister thinks that the main character have moved on from his dream of becoming a full-fledged man of culture. However, she was wrong, because the main character was the same as always, and he regularly grabs a piece of cake before the ladies leave. Then he told his stepsisters that he just can't control the demons in his hands from grabbing that fluffy goodness. The main character apologized to his red-hair stepsister by giving her a mwah soup. The blonde stepsister have a goal in her mind, and she wanted to stop the main character from being a man of culture. During the afternoon, the council meeting was ended. Some members wanted to stay to help in cleaning up their council room, but the blonde lady insisted them to go home, because the main character will do that task. Then the council members left, and the main character and his blonde older stepsister were now left in the council room. She was wearing a very cultured Under Armour, and the main character was the one who made her wear this today. It started a few days ago, when the blonde stepsister caught the main character in the room of the sleeping red-hair stepsister. The main character have feelings for them, but blonde stepsister will not allow the Alabama culture in their household. However, the main character was a serious man about his feelings. Therefore, the blonde stepsister volunteered herself as the main character's food, so he won't devour the red-hair stepsister. Back to the current timeline, the main character was now handling her melons with care. He was a skilled therapist, so she easily folded under pressure. Then her back door have no protection. So, the main character took advantage of that vulnerability, and he was giving her a helping hand in the forbidden territory. The blonde stepsister created some high-pitch audio effects, so the main character told her to lower the volume for safety purposes. Suddenly, a teacher heard something, so he was asking if someone was behind the door. They already locked the council room, but the main character got a cultured idea. Then he told his blonde stepsister about his cultured plan. The blonde lady went to the door, and she told the teacher that she was alone. Meanwhile, the main character was grabbing a piece of cake. The blonde lady and the teacher continued their conversation, and she was creating some squeaky sounds, because the main character was giving her the rod of destruction. The teacher was worried about her unusual tone, so he wanted her to open the door so he can help. Then she just told the teacher that her clothes was mess up from a falling book accident, so she will not open the door. Then the teacher understand her situation and left. After that, the main character deposited a creamy milkshake in her waste facility, and she created a crystal clear mineral water fountain. The blonde stepsister felt pathetic, but this was an awesome event for her. Then the main character wanted to enter through the front door. She was against it, because this is considered an Alabama culture. To make her say yes, the main character gave her a mwah soup, and she was now letting the main character do whatever he wanted. Then they performed the clapping exercise, and he wanted to make her dependent only on his legendary sword, so no man will ever take her away from him. She agreed to his idea, and she was willing to become his servant. Then the main character gave her a creamy vanilla milkshake. The main character was still energetic, so she continued offering her sacred sanctuary. So, the clapping exercise continues. The blonde stepsister ordered an overflowing amount, so the main character gave her an overflowing creamy vanilla milkshake. After that, the main character gave his blonde older stepsister a special necklace of servitude. She likes his gift, so she immediately wore it. During the night, the red-hair stepsister returned home, because the sleepover at her friend's house was cancelled. Then she can hear a very sussy sound coming from the bathroom. She took a peek at the source of the sound, and she saw the blonde stepsister doing the gulp 3000 to serve the main character. So, she was shocked with that discovery. After that night, the red-hair stepsister continued observing the main character and the blonde stepsister. The cultural events happened many times, so the red-hair stepsister concluded that the main character and blonde stepsister were having a secret relationship. One night, the main character and the blonde stepsister were going to leave the house, and they said it was an urgent matter for their council event. The red-hair stepsister knows that something fishy is going on. So, she knows that they will perform some outdoor Alabama traditions. Then the red-hair stepsister went to the park to investigate, and she found the main character and blonde stepsister. The red-hair stepsister saw an unholy event, because the blonde stepsister was doing a public exhibition, and she was giving the main character the gulp 9000. Then the red-hair stepsister realized that the relationship of the main character and blonde stepsister was like a master and servant. In addition, she also realized that the blonde stepsister's role was to provide the needs of a man of culture. Then watching the outdoor recreational activities have motivated the red-hair stepsister to do a self-support exercise. The blonde stepsister was known as a high-class woman. However, in reality, she enjoys being the main character's exclusive servant. After a while, the red-hair stepsister become a crystal-clear mineral water dispenser. Then she accidentally trip on the bushes, so she ran away immediately. The main character and the blonde stepsister were startled, but they did not find anyone around the bushes. Meanwhile, the red-hair stepsister was feeling jealousy, because she also wanted to have some bonding time with the main character. In the next scenario, the main character was having a dream of grabbing the big clouds. Then the red-hair stepsister entered the main character's room, and she forcefully wakes up the main character. She started confessing to the main character that she knows that the main character was practicing in Alabama traditions, and she wanted to be part of that culture. Then she gave the main character the Gulp Gulp 3000, and she comboed that technique with the melons on her front yard garden. The main character was not able to control his powers, and he released the forbidden juice. Then she devoured that fresh beverage like a pro. After that, the main character told her that he was not contented yet. Therefore, the midnight exercise continue. Then the main character gave her a moi moi soup, and she became a leaking water faucet. The red-hair stepsister flex her underground cave, and she told the main character that she used the power of imagination when thinking about cultural events with him. So, the main character decided that he will make her dreams come true. Then the main character gave her the clapping exercise. She wanted to experience the level 100 power of the main character, so the main character gave her the power of his rod of destruction. In addition, the red-hair stepsister got the front yard melons some petting session. Then the main character was doing a melon feeding frenzy. The red-hair stepsister reached the peak of success. However, the night was not yet over, so the main character continued her training session to make her into his servant. Then the main character was giving her the clapping activities, and the main character gave her a creamy vanilla milkshake. So, she was now turned into the main character servant. The next day, the blonde older stepsister was waking up the main character. She entered the main character's room, because she wanted some bonding time today. Then the blonde stepsister have a surprising discovery, that the red-hair stepsister was a full-fledged member of their unholy Alabama cult. In the next scenario, the main character was surrounded by his beautiful stepsisters. So, the background male characters were jealous, because the main character was very lucky. Then the main character and his stepsisters went to the campus building during the night. They have a training camp inside the building, and the main character gave them blindfolds to enhance their echolocation, since he wanted to max out his stepsister's thrilling sensation. That's the end of this cultural anime recap. By the way, don't copy the main character's riz, because you might get cancelled. Anyways, here is your special sauce, and make sure that it's limited for the culturally matured people only, and thank you for watching.